I don't even know where to begin, but let me just start out with congratulations to George Kambosos for picking up the win. I thought the Chris Mannix's scorecard was exactly the way I saw it. I thought after the Kambosos knockdown in the 10th round was where I had it a draw. So at that point, I had T.O. winning 3 rounds in a row, and then we were going to the 11th. It was anybody's fight. And I gave the last 2 rounds to George Kambosos. So I legit thought he won. All right. Again, I picked T.O. to win, and I also wanted T.O. to win. All right. Nothing against George Kambosos, but I'm a Teofimo Lopez fan. I like him, you know. But as the fight was going, and the way that T.O. was fighting, and when I heard like what his pops was saying in the corner, I was getting so angry at the way that T.O. was fighting that I began liking George Kambosos because he was fighting so smart. Everything that was working, he kept doing. You know what I'm saying? And I tweeted this. I said, before going into the end of the fight, I wanted George to win because he just wanted it more. He fought a smart fight. He stuck to the game plan, and he wanted to win more. In those last 2 rounds, he wanted it more. You saw it in his body language. He wanted it more. T.O. burnt himself out early trying to get a knockout. You heard it from his dad. T.O. had just got dropped. He clearly won the first round up until when he got knocked down. And his dad is telling him, "What are you doing? Get this guy out of here." What? This is a boxing match, bro. You ever think of the chance that maybe the guy might be able to take your son's power? This guy is loading up for one shot halfway through the fight, and it's not working. He's already burned out because he's been loading up on every single shot. I was talking about experience earlier today that Teofimo Lopez got, or he had. But this guy went in there and tried to get a knockout. He totally underestimated. That was not part of the plan. Getting predictions wrong, that's not a big deal. It's just like when you go into the fight, though, and we're expecting something from you because we normally see that, but you went in there to try to totally eliminate your opponent. You underestimated a guy that can box. You can't do that. You can't do it. And you paid for it. And then you started fighting out of desperation because now you feel you need a knockout. Before you wanted a knockout, now you feel you need a knockout. But you got lucky. You had a second chance because Kambosos actually finally got hurt. I would like to take a look at that knockout or knockdown in the 10th round because I was a little confused. I saw the right hand, but I didn't see it connect. It kind of looked like George tripped over himself. And I know the commentators wasn't really sure. I would like to go back and watch the fight again. First of all, it was an excellent fight. And I'm going to give T.O. his credit. T.O. showed he was a warrior. It was a great fight. It was definitely one of the best fights. We was talking about Fulton and Figueroa all day, all week, how this is going to be one of those fights. This fight right here, and the Figueroa fight is about to start too. It didn't start yet. It's starting in a few minutes. But that fight with T.O. and George was a great fight. All right. It was a great fight. I had a good time watching. I enjoyed it. They both scored knockdowns. A lot of hard punches, a lot of taunting, a lot of trash talking, a lot of action, a lot of drama. But yo, T.O., my man. And then you come up to New York, you repping. I know you're from Florida, but you're repping Brooklyn and all that. You got the crowd out here supporting you. Dude, you got to get your stuff together, man. All right. I'm going to have to just be real and say it. You got to get yourself together, man. Your pops, I don't know what's his issue. All right. But sometimes I feel like he's bringing his inner feelings into the ring. Well, he's not going into the ring. So I don't know. Sometimes the dad-son training thing doesn't always work. I don't personally think it works for Tio. I think Tio should have still won it. He didn't win it, but I think he's the better talent to me. But he didn't show what he could really do. At the end, he started using all of these excuses, saying that he should have gave the belts up and moved up anyway. See, that's not a true champion. You know what pisses me off about all of this? They started calling these dudes kings, right? They started calling them the new four kings already. Ryan Garcia, a guy that went out and retired momentarily because he had mental health issues, all right? You had him. You have Teofimo Lopez, right? Who hasn't even defended his title and won. He doesn't even have the belts no more. And after he loses, he's like, well, I should have just went up. I've been saying this, I'm too big. No, dude, you fought the wrong fight. Don't blame it on weight now. You made weight. You look good. It's not that you look bad. You look like Tio. It's just that your game plan was terrible. It was a bad one. And I personally don't believe he had the right people in his corner. And I'm going to just say it. I'm going to say it. They had the wrong game plan. Listen, it's good to spark up a fight and talk your trash. Do what you got to do to sell the fight. But once you get in there, you lock in. There's a lot of guys that talk that talk. There's a lot of animosity. But when they get in the ring, they lock in. Let's stick to the game plan. You got to box. If you want to get the knockout, box to the knockout. Don't go in there and try to turn it into a street fight. What are you doing? This ain't Hagler and Hearns. What are you doing? And I know that fight was a classic, but what I'm just trying to say is, bro, you fighting a guy that can box. We all knew that. What are you doing? You gotta be cautious. Teal had a rough year. He really did. I know some of you subscribers actually predicted you. Some of you supporters of the channel definitely predicted Kambosos to win. Something didn't feel right. One of my supporters was on Twitter. We was just tweeting about that. Something definitely didn't feel right, but I don't like making predictions based on how I feel. I try to just think logically. I didn't feel right neither, but I always go with who I think is a better talent between the two, and I picked Tio. All right. George wanted it more. The guy said, he had a death in his family. His child was born and he kept training. That guy just wanted it more. That is why Tio lost. Tio going to say at the end of the fight, he lost. He thought he won 10 rounds to 2. Dude, come on, bro. Nobody believes that. No one believes that. You lost 2 rounds? How? I mean, all right, whatever. Tio, I actually believe that, you know what? I hope that kid gets it together because this is a tough year. And if we really think about it, he beat Lomachenko. So he's on the top of the world at that point, right? He's on the top of the world. They put him in pound for pound list. He's at the top of the world, all right? They're gearing up to make the next fight. What happens? Triller steps in, gives him all this millions and millions of dollars, right? Know your worth. Stirs up a whole thing with Top Rank now. So they have issues with Top Rank. I'm not going to go through everything because I don't remember everything on how it happened. But all I know is that the Triller thing didn't work out. There was reschedules. There were venue issues. There were a whole bunch of stuff. Teal got COVID. It was just a whole bunch of stuff that went down. The Triller deal never happened. All right. So then they were trying to work things back out with Bob. They tried to make other reschedules. Then there was a whole thing about having a fight in Australia, which was probably a better thing anyway, because you would have made the money out there because, that would have been a bigger fight out there. You lost here in New York. You was worried about getting robbed in Australia. You lost here in New York. You lost here. Down the street. Should I went to Australia? But these new guys, they 4 kings. These new guys, they just moving around too much. But I give him credit for fighting his mandatory. You know, it was a good mandatory. You know, I much respect to George. But Tio had a terrible year. You know, he had a terrible year, and he finally got the fight. They finally got it together. They got it on the zone. The zone took the fight, and now he lost. Now what happens? Are you still what's up with Top Rank? What's going on? I'm sure there's still lawsuits pending from all of that mess. It's just your whole world just crumbles. So what Tio needs to do is he needs to take some time, humble himself, humble yourself. You're still very talented, but you gotta humble yourself, shake things off, climb back up, because it just doesn't seem like he just got the right people around him, man. He needs to be grabbed by the back of the neck and straightened out. Like, for real. I'm not trying to hate. I like Tio. You guys know I like Tio. But somebody got to straighten that kid up. He got to get straightened out. All right? Again, congratulations to George. Tio, I doubt there's going to be a rematch. You know, Tio was saying, you know, George was like, listen, come out to Australia. We could do the rematch. And Tio was talking about, you know, I don't know. He doesn't talk. He wasn't sounding too confident about making that deal. You know, maybe going up to 140. I don't know what's going to happen. You know, maybe he takes some sleep, get some rest. Maybe he watches the fight again. Maybe he has some time. Let him have some time to think. All right. But me personally, I think he needs to change the camp. You know, because he should have never went in that fight with that kind of game plan. That was a dumb game plan. And his corner is not giving him the right instructions. And that's exactly why he was fighting like that. He wasn't fighting like the way he was supposed to be. Let's not say he got robbed. He did not get robbed. No one thinks you got robbed, bro. I'm telling you that right now. No one thinks you got robbed. All right? But bounce back. You get back. There's still fights I want to see. I don't cancel people because they lose a fight. Still want to see you fight these other dudes. But now that you lost, you need to revamp. You know, you do. Because that's a bad loss. It was a great fight, but it was a bad loss because of the way you fought and what you were being told by your corner, in my opinion. George, you got a lot of work to do, bro, because Loma has some responsibilities. It was passed off to Tio. Tio, you had this whole year, this mess of inactivity. You got this 4 titles, this Devin Haney and JoJo. And I would like to see the winner of JoJo and Haney fight Kambosos. But I am not sleeping on Kambosos anymore. Because that boy can fight. And that boy has a chin. Tio did land the shots. He had the power. But Kambosos took those shots. He eventually got knocked down, but he still took them. He got up and then won the last 2 rounds. That was a great, super great performance. There's a lot of work to do at 135. You still got you still got Lomachenko that's still around. He's going to fight Coleman. It's a lot of work to be done, all right? 2022 is going to be a crazy year for the division. Just can't wait to see what happens, all right? So that's my views for now. I'll definitely get back on here tomorrow to talk more about this fight. Fulton just entered the ring. Figueroa is in the ring. I'll be back. Peace.